I am appointing you to take charge of all matters concerning the divorce settlement, Michael. I signed the documents, finalized the exit clauses, and right then, my phone buzzed. It was a message from my contact in Tokyo. Elias, your new corporate registration and security clearance badges are ready. When I went to the city registry to pick up the paperwork, the young woman behind the counter paused for a second before she spoke. "Excuse me, are you a Mr. Elias Vance?" Everyone in the city's high-tech sector knows that the powerhouse CEO Seraphina Thorne has a husband she devotedly cares for, a brilliant but disabled engineer named Elias. I smiled and gently shook my head, denying the implied connection. The Elias from that world is gone. I am Leon now. While I was waiting for my final physical therapy appointment at the hospital, the television in the room was showing an interview with Seraphina. She was usually steel-nerved and unshakable, but her voice cracked when she spoke about me. Elias suffered a career-ending spinal injury while saving me during the collapse of the new West Tower project, she said, and now he can never return to the high-rise design work he loves. I've decided to devote the rest of my life to supporting and cherishing him with all my heart. Seeing him struggle with daily life in a wheelchair when he should be commanding construction sites and changing the skyline, it just tears me apart. I overheard a nurse nearby talking enviously. Seraphina married Elias Vance right after college, even though her family, the Thornes, were completely against it. After they got married, she showed off their love so much it seemed brighter than the city lights. I froze for a moment, tightening my grip on the arm of my wheelchair. Everyone in the city knew that the rich Seraphina valued her husband more than her own reputation. When my parents divorced, I was a teen, and my stepmother immediately kicked me out. I collapsed outside in the rain, and it was Seraphina who found me, saved me, and took me in. She fed me, gave me clothes, paid for my engineering school, and even supported my dream of learning advanced structural dynamics. I lost my mobility shielding her during that tower collapse. Seraphina never left my side. She married me immediately after I graduated, going against her entire family. One brutal January, she spent an entire night kneeling in the snow, wearing only a light blazer just to get her family, the Thornes, to accept me. They finally gave in, and she ended up hospitalized with hypothermia, clutching that engagement ring. Seraphina knew that because of my broken family background, I was always too scared to truly commit to a relationship. After all, I had seen my own father bring his mistress home, leaving my mother heartbroken. On our wedding day, Seraphina knelt on one knee, her face utterly sincere. "Elias, I promise to spend my entire life loving and cherishing you. There will never be betrayal or lies between us, and I will be faithful to you forever." Seraphina kept her word, giving me endless care and attention over 5 years of marriage and 2 years in this chair. But the day I finally got the prototype mobility suit functional and stood up in our apartment, I caught her and my cousin Max wrapped up together. That's when I understood Max visiting was just an excuse for him and my wife to continue their affair. And every single time she lovingly offered to pick up my customized medications, it was just so she could spend more time alone with Max. I kept my physical recovery a complete secret, forcing myself back into the chair, pretending not to notice the two of them boldly kissing right in front of me. I broke a glass beaker and cut my hand on the shards. Seraphina rushed over, worried, and grabbed my hand. At that moment, the pain inside me was far worse than the bleeding cut. I didn't expose their cheating. I kept pretending I was disabled, while secretly preparing to one day leave Seraphina. After I left the hospital, I found a new email. Mr. Leon, my codename. We've seen your design blueprints for the automated city grid. Even though you've been off the drawing board for a while, we're confident we can rebuild the future with you. We're waiting for you in Tokyo. I had quietly applied for an internship with a prestigious architecture firm in Japan, and now they were welcoming me. Before I was injured, the company had reached out to me when I was a shining star in the design world. Back then, I never considered leaving Seraphina, so I refused without hesitation. But now, it was Seraphina who forced this decision on me. Thanks. I'll arrive in Tokyo in a week. See you then. I took the wedding band off my finger, feeling free from all burdens. No more arguments, drama, or tearful apologies for me. I want to disappear from Seraphina's world, for her to feel completely powerless, even with all her influence in this entire sector. I want her to spend the rest of her life feeling regret. I put on a heavy coat and tucked the ring into my bag. 7 days from now, there will be no Elias in this world. As soon as I got home, Seraphina rushed to me anxiously. Elias, where were you? Why didn't you answer your phone? She frowned, taking the bag from my hands. I noticed she was wearing different clothes than before, and they smelled of a cheap men's cologne that wasn't mine. I forced a smile and handed her the fake mobility assessment report. I went for my physical therapy checkup. The doctors said my spine hasn't improved much. Seraphina helped me to the couch, carefully putting a warm cup of herbal tea in my hand. How could you just wheel yourself out on your own? Do you know how worried I was? Max emerged from our master bedroom, still wearing one of my custom-tailored shirts. His unbuttoned collar revealed several hickeys. His tempting gaze was fixed on Seraphina beside me. I pretended not to notice, just identifying the voice with my ears. When did Max get here? But inside, I squeezed the cup even tighter, a sharp pain piercing my heart at this sight. My mother asked me to bring some energy supplements for you. They're good for your recovery. You need to get better soon. The Thorne Foundation just gave me the Director of Advanced Infrastructure spot, which was all yours. Max's gentle manner and bright smile made his words feel like a blade stabbing straight into my chest. I stayed silent, deep in thought. I knew Max's talent. He could never deserve that director spot. His growing opportunities over the past year made me suspect Seraphina might be helping him behind the scenes. All right, I've got some work to do at the company. I'll go now. Seraphina put vitamins beside me and thoughtfully prepared some fruit. Elias, you rest at home. I'll come back early to keep you company. Then she gave my cousin a knowing glance. He understood immediately. The foundation also has a site inspection today, so I'm heading out as well. I warmly waved them off. Watching Max wrap her in his arms, I waited a moment, then wheeled myself to the window overlooking the complex parking garage. The two hadn't walked far before they were passionately kissing, and soon Max cradled Seraphina and laid her on the back seat of the car, leaning in. After I quickly took a few photos and sent them to Michael, they still hadn't closed the car door, and the vehicle was softly swaying. Fighting to control my breathing, the dull ache in my heart twisted into a sharp knife, leaving me breathless. Seraphina and I had known each other for 10 years, married for 5. I had no doubt she would be the one I'd share my life with. But the woman who vowed to love me forever let her promises disappear in just 5 short years. I wiped away my tears and turned toward Seraphina's private data room. I punched in the code to her safe like it was second nature. Inside were a few contracts, All the top engineering resources, including the directorship role promised to me by the Thorne Foundation, were now handed over to Max as a gift from Seraphina. Maybe she thought since I was disabled, I'd never be on a construction site again. But the contract at the bottom, it was signed 2 years ago. Back then, I hadn't lost my mobility. I was still leading major projects. I'd lost the lead contract for the one project I cared about, the Zenith City Tower, just a day before the final pitch, and they replaced me with Max. The head of the board had said Max was better suited for the part. I looked at my arms covered in track marks from late nights spent welding and cried through the night, finally sitting in the audience and applauding my cousin. Watching my despair, Seraphina's eyes went red and her voice was husky, filled with care. "Elias, it'll be okay. There'll be another chance." Her facade was so convincing it had me fooled. It turns out the one who stabbed me in the back was the person I trusted and relied on the most, my partner. It seems like their affair had begun a long time ago. I thought I would fall apart, crying hysterically, but seeing it with my own eyes made me realize the silence of despair was the mark of a truly broken heart. "Elias, today marks our 5th anniversary. Seraphina came over with an enormous bouquet of white lilies, her right hand holding luxury shopping bags. She took out a smartwatch and put it on me. "This suits you. I customized it just in time for our anniversary." I felt the watch on my wrist and smiled at her. The signed divorce papers were set aside in a beautiful custom gift box which I handed to her. "Seraphina, this is my gift to you." Her face lit up with excitement, and she eagerly moved to untie the ribbon. "Open it in a week. It's a surprise." I stopped her, my expression calm. "All right, I'll listen to you, Elias." She placed the box in the display cabinet, then took my hand. "I've made reservations. We're celebrating there tonight." We spent every anniversary at the Skyline Bistro. Seraphina said the spot was perfect. You could see all of the city's highest tech structures from the window. She even planned a magnificent drone light show at 8 p.m. Though I couldn't see the full display without assistance, the sound helped me picture the momentary splendor against the black sky. On our way, Seraphina set me in the passenger seat and went to the trunk to get a blanket. I noticed a thin sheet of paper tucked into the door pocket. Seraphina's pregnancy test results. She was pregnant with Max's child. Since losing my mobility, we rarely got intimate. Whenever she kissed my head, I'd awkwardly pull away. She wasn't upset, just held me, breathing heavily and placing tender kisses on my forehead. "Elias, don't worry, I'm here for you." What I didn't provide, she gave to Max. My breath caught as I put the paper back. Her phone was connected to the car's Bluetooth, and I turned to see her standing at the back, texting. I opened her chat. It was Max's. "I'm coming with you." "Don't be silly, it's Elias's and my anniversary. Stay home, I'll come over after dinner." "I was there last time too, right at the next table. He won't find out." No wonder last anniversary she kept finding reasons to leave the table. After a pause, she agreed. "Fine, we'll go first. You take a cab." I laughed quietly as I shut off the screen. That blanket took her 10 minutes. Not that she was looking for it, but where her heart lingered. Dinner was tasteless. Seraphina soothed me with words while stealing glances at Max at the next table. 8 p.m. came and the drone light show began. Max edged toward the window, but I turned to the structures, keeping a tight grip, refusing to reveal anything. Drones like bright satellites lit up the darkness with radiant colors. My heart clenched painfully numb. I watched my company name, once spelled out in light against the sky, now erased. Out of the corner of my eye, Max threw himself into Seraphina's arms. They embraced and kissed, unaware of my keen eyesight in the chaos. Memories of our first anniversary flooded back. Seraphina hugged me from behind in this very spot, her love spilling from her eyes. She'd said, "Every year I'll light the most spectacular display just for you. I'll show the world, Elias, that you're my one true love." A decade of moments seemed like a dream. I lived in an illusion of love created by Seraphina. Now awake, it's time for me to leave. My new ID and passport are ready, and tomorrow I'll fly to Tokyo. The following morning, I calmly sat and made breakfast, preparing Seraphina's portion too. "Elias, why are you up so early?" Seraphina came out, seeing the food ready. She hesitated only a moment, then hurried to me, holding my hand. There were small cuts from unfamiliarity with kitchen tools and burns from splattered oil. "You can't even move easily. Why? Cook Maya will be here soon. Doesn't this hurt?" She gently held my hand, a few tears falling onto it. With another glance, her eyes were already red. Her acting was so perfect that if I hadn't seen for myself, I'd never believe the woman who claimed to love me more than anything was unfaithful. "I'm fine. Just thought I'd cook. It's been a while." I'd already told Maya to come by later. By then, I'd be out of the city. I tried to pull my hand away, but she took it to the living room, applying ointment. "My husband's hands are too valuable to mark." Looking at Seraphina's focused head, I almost blurted out and asked her why. Luckily, I held back. While she went to fetch bandages, I saw a message from Max on her phone. "Regal Towers, Suite 34A. When Seraphina returned, I acted indifferent. "Seraphina, your phone went off earlier. I think I might have brushed it while checking." She caught sight of Max's bold, explicit photo. She quickly picked up her phone, pausing for a moment, then relaxed as staring at my blank eyes seemed to reassure her. I kept a calm face, though my hands trembled. "The lab messaged, 'I'll go get your new meds. You wait at home, I'll be back soon.'" Seraphina gently caressed my hair. Quite an effort on their part, meeting at a high-end suite so early to maintain the facade. "Seraphina, goodbye." My unusual words puzzled her a bit, but she smiled. "Elias, wait for me to come back." The door clicked shut and I breathed. Wait for her. Never again. I quickly packed my bags, gathered everything related to me at home, and contacted the digital shredder service to pick up my old prototypes and blueprints. Sitting in the taxi heading to the airport, I received a message from Max. I knew he was pregnant with his kid. It was only natural for him not to want to just be a sidekick anymore. Max sent tons of intimate photos and chat logs of the two of them, including Seraphina's pregnancy test results. I swiped through the messy pictures one by one. My chest felt a dull ache, but it didn't hurt as much anymore, until I saw the chat logs from a month after my injury. Seraphina couldn't wait to transfer my resources to Max. On the first day they broke the taboo. The woman I loved deeply, my wife, was involved with my cousin shortly after I lost my mobility to save her. "Remember to open the gift when you get home." After sending this last message, I took out my SIM card and threw it in the trash. As the flight announcement blared, I took one last look at the sign for my city. From now on, Elias no longer exists in this world. I'm Leon. Seraphina looked down at the message from Elias, sent a few responses urging him to rest early and saying she'd return tomorrow. There was no response from his side, so she guessed he had fallen asleep. Since his injury, Elias's moods were often sullen and his health wasn't great, but his routine was steady. Upon getting the test results, Seraphina was both shocked and delighted. Delighted because she's always wanted a child, shocked because she never expected it to be Max's. They had a few intimate encounters under Max's charming attempts, but her child had to be Elias's. To her, Max was just a fling. Her husband would always be her husband. Seraphina stood by the window, not exactly happy. What if Elias found out? Her brows suddenly twitched as she thought of Elias's gentle, obedient demeanor. No, he wouldn't find out. What do you think about the kid? Max was uneasy with her reaction, thinking she'd be more excited. That disabled cousin of his was not only in poor health, but also resisted intimacy. Max knew this, so he seduced Seraphina more, hoping one day the child would let him climb up in status. But it was clear she wasn't interested in that. Her face clouded, her voice cold. You've been overworked recently. Take a break and skip the site visits for now. As for the child, we'll talk about it later. She was already figuring out an excuse, claiming surrogacy. After all, Elias couldn't move or know she was pregnant. Now I'm heading home. Let's not meet for a while. Why? Max felt aggrieved, biting his lip, about to cry. I have to take care of Elias too. Haven't I spent enough time with you? Seraphina dodged. I'll visit you in a few days. Be good. Max dared not stop her, having lots of grievances against his cousin. When is that sickly cousin going to sign the final papers? He scrolled through their chat with no replies from Elias. The car sped home. Seraphina looked at the dark windows, thinking Elias was already asleep. Lisa, the maid, welcomed her with a light. Seraphina handed over her coat, casually asking, Is Elias asleep yet? Lisa was surprised and stammering. No, he messaged me this morning to come back later tonight. When I arrived, no one was home. I thought you both had other plans. With every word, Seraphina's eyes darkened. Did he say anything else? Nothing more. Lisa's face turned pale, fearing she might upset the woman before her. Okay, you can go. Seraphina dialed Elias's number, clutching the phone, her expression turning darker. She waited a few seconds, but only got the automated voicemail of a shut-off phone. As she hurriedly went upstairs, she called her assistant, Julia. Check all Elias's communication records, now. Look into his documents, see if there are any international travel permits. Seraphina's voice was colder than ever, but a fierce aura surrounded her. There weren't many places Elias could go. After all, he couldn't walk. Where could he run? With that thought, an impossible notion slowly surfaced in her mind. Also, check the clinic's assessment records. I want all the results of his recent rechecks. Hurry! Recently, Elias had been going to his rechecks alone. She only saw the reports he brought back. She always thought he couldn't move, indulging in her intimacy with Max. But what if he had secretly regained mobility? A headache throbbed in Seraphina's head as she forcefully pushed open the bedroom door. Inside was pitch black. The bed was neat and clean. Shaking, she turned on the light and found their framed photo missing from the nightstand. Her anxiety grew, rushing to check all the rooms one by one. Elias's adapted clothing was gone. His high-tech drafting tools were gone. Even their wedding portrait in the living room was gone. She stormed into the study, finding the spot for her safe slightly moved. Numbly, she entered Elias's birthday, and sure enough, the contracts were all rearranged. For a moment, she felt her blood freeze. Elias might know everything. Seraphina opened the chat with Elias, seeing a message about a gift. Of course, the anniversary gift. Seraphina broke the locked display cabinet. Even as her hand bled, she didn't feel the pain. She opened the delicately packaged gift box. Inside was a single piece of paper she didn't dare look at, but she had to. The glaring words, "divorce settlement," were right there. On the last page, he'd already signed his name. Seraphina stared at his neat handwriting, feeling a sharp pain in her heart, suddenly remembering he hadn't been wearing his wedding band for days now. A sticky note was attached with Michael's number saying, "This is my lawyer's number. He'll handle the divorce matters with you." Just then, Julia's call came back. Max sent some photos and chat logs to Mr. Elias a few hours ago. She received files from Julia, opening to find indiscreet evidence of their affair. Seraphina's vision darkened, almost fainting. She drove straight to Max's downtown apartment. Max sleepily opened the door. Seeing her, his drowsiness vanished. He was overjoyed, hugging her and whining like usual. "Seraphina, why'd you come back?" Before he could finish, Seraphina slapped him. Max was in pain, feeling dizzy, turning back to face a furious Seraphina. "What's wrong with you?" He was dazed, unsure how she seemed like a completely different person in just a few hours. Seraphina grabbed his chin. "Max, didn't I tell you to keep our affair from Elias, right?" Her face darkened, a storm brewing. Max's expression changed, thinking maybe Elias had found out. Seraphina read the messages to him. But how could Elias know? Seeing Max deep in thought, her anger boiled over. She slapped him again without mercy. The boy's fair cheeks swelled instantly, blood seeping from his mouth. Without the strength from Seraphina, he stumbled and fell hard onto the ground. Max, propping himself up, looked at her with a bit of frustration. "Seraphina, he couldn't walk. How could he discover what had happened? You still have our child in your belly. Please don't get angry. It's not good for the baby." He bowed down and made a pleading gesture. Seraphina looked down at him coldly and let out a mocking laugh. Elias probably secretly regained mobility a long time ago. The next moment, Seraphina kicked Max hard in the chest. With one kick, Max was thrown to the ground, and Seraphina's belly suddenly hurt. When she felt a warm sensation below, Seraphina's face turned pale. Seeing Seraphina's pained expression, Max pleaded desperately, "Seraphina, it's my fault. I didn't know any better. But please, go to the hospital. Save our child, won't you?" Tears mixed with blood flowed down his cheeks, and Max kept hitting his head on the floor. But Seraphina didn't soften a bit, her face white and gloomy. "I'm only dealing with you for Elias's sake, and I'd only have his kids. Do you think trash like you deserves it? I can't believe you can't see reality and still think you can replace him. From now on, the Thorne Foundation will no longer use you, and the unwanted child inside me," she gasped, holding back nausea, and finally said, "I'll go to the hospital now, and if the kid's gone, great. If it's still there, I'll arrange for a termination. As for you, since you like spreading your seed, I'll send you someplace more suitable." Julia's name flashed on the screen. Seraphina slowly crawled to the bathroom and picked up the phone. "Seraphina!" Elias, his mobility, it was restored 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago he could walk. Seraphina's breathing stopped. Her heart missed a beat. So he'd been able to move all along. He saw the absurdity before her, saw the resources she gave Max, saw the drone display she set off for Max. She slowly relaxed her hand, where the skin and flesh had turned grim and terrifying. Elias knew about her betrayal, yet he hid it so well, not a hint of anger or sadness exposed. How devastated his heart must have been, how disappointed he must have been in her. Seraphina had never hated herself as much as she did at this moment, and the overwhelming regret seemed to swallow her whole. She dared not think from Elias's perspective how her actions were like being tortured by a killer. Seraphina choked up a bit, her eyes red. Julia listened to the sounds on the other side, nervously continuing. "I checked all his records. The city registry said he's probably changed his name. There's no trace of Elias anywhere." Hearing this, Seraphina could no longer hold herself up and collapsed into a pool of blood. When I first landed in Tokyo, the architecture firm's lead designer greeted me warmly. Nexus Global was filled with engineers and designers from around the world, all sharing common dreams and striving together. At first, dealing with the time difference and heartache, I found it hard to adjust, having trouble falling asleep. After taking a light sedative to finally get some rest, I'd often dream all night about various moments with Seraphina. Waking up in the middle of the night, my face would be wet with tears. Eventually, I stopped trying to sleep, spending nights alone in the studio, drafting until I was tired enough to crash on the couch. Thankfully, my fellow engineers were friendly and helpful, assisting me when I struggled with unfamiliar modeling software, helping me endure a difficult time. I gradually adapted to the intense design and consultation lifestyle, and I felt more energetic than ever. The wounds I once thought unbearable slowly healed with time. I got a new number, and the only person who could reach me was Michael, who handled my divorce case. 2 weeks after arriving in Tokyo, Michael called me. "Leon, Seraphina wants to speak with you personally." No need. The sun was shining as a gentle breeze ruffled my hair. My mind was preoccupied with the structural calculations I had just learned. She can tell Michael once she signed the divorce papers, and I'll come back to arrange the proceedings. Michael felt a bit troubled, but she insists on seeing you once before agreeing to the divorce. No problem, we can drag it out. I smiled unconcerned. If she doesn't sign the papers, she won't find me. Besides, I'm not afraid to take it to court. We have proof of her cheating. Michael seemed relieved upon hearing this. I'll pass your message on to her. He sincerely added, "Leon, you've changed a lot since our first meeting. You're now confident and carefree, truly living for yourself. Thanks." I hung up and rubbed my hands, feeling the Tokyo air grow a little colder. After my shift, a colleague from the firm invited me for dinner. We sat in a small ramen shop and ordered our favorite dishes. "Leon, your designs are beautiful. Your technique is precise, yet uniquely yours. Which firm did you work with before?" Melody said, adding more food to my bowl, her expression cheerful and warm. "I was in my own city before." Melody was curious. "Then why the gap in your career? You seem to love structural design a lot." I paused for a moment, then smiled openly. "I survived a project collapse 2 years ago, but I lost my mobility. I only recently regained full movement a few months ago." Melody showed no awkwardness. Instead, she laughed brightly. "Then what do you call that? Where there's a will, there's a blueprint." Her positive attitude was infectious, filling me with warmth. Even though I went through emotional betrayal and deceit, I regained my mobility, decisively leaving the lies behind, and could once again do what I loved. Isn't that a form of luck, too? Feeling a lump in my throat, I raised my drink to toast with Melody. "You're right, I feel reborn now." Getting the response from Michael, Seraphina sat hopelessly on the couch. There was no turning back now. She knew Elias was determined to get away from her. She drank one cup after another, ignoring her friend's attempts to stop her. She hoped to numb her aching heart with alcohol, yet memories of better times would still emerge. Seraphina suddenly recalled their wedding day. Elias knelt on one knee, his eyes full of her. Back then, she never imagined she would cheat. She professed her love straightforward and passionate. Betrayal and deceit were things she'd never considered. When did she forget her original intentions? First, she was genuinely touched. She never expected someone to risk their life in a collapsing building to save her. She felt sorry for Elias, wishing she could trade places and take his injury. But over time, their mundane life grew dull. She found herself drawn to the fiery Max, even getting swept up in it and giving him the best resources. It wasn't until Elias actually left that Seraphina had a major realization. She couldn't live without Elias, but now she had truly lost him. Thinking about this, Seraphina covered her face in pain, tears squeezing through her fingers. Her brothers exchanged glances, shocked at how things turned out. Elias's cousin Max was a wreck, and working was the least of his concerns. Standing up again was a big question. The Thornes were pressing to finalize the divorce quickly before things got out of hand so they could arrange a new marriage. Someone needed to inherit the business. 3 days later, Max took to the internal network, exposing Seraphina's actions. Determined to fight her, he posted all the evidence, admitting to being her lover. Yet all their boundary-crossing interactions were initiated and accepted by Seraphina herself. Max even shared his medical records with injury assessments. Seraphina, who was once devoted to her husband, had cheated with his cousin, using violence and risking lives. The business community exploded with the news, causing the Thorne stock to plunge. Seraphina's father, in a rage, gave her a few lashes with his belt. Her back was raw, yet she remained unyielding. Finally, her bedridden grandfather spoke up. "Seraphina, you're terribly wrong. You begged for the chance to marry Elias, yet you didn't treasure it. Now, refusing a divorce is just dragging him down, hurting him again. Sign the divorce papers immediately and handle the company affairs properly. Stop this nonsense." Seraphina's straight back finally slumped as she lowered her head. She called Michael. "Please tell Leon I'm willing to divorce." Once notified, I arranged my schedule, flying back from Tokyo. After the divorce was finalized, Seraphina and I exited the Civil Affairs Bureau together. In just 6 months, Seraphina had changed drastically. Although it was early winter, she wore only a wool coat. I recognized it. It was my wedding gift to her. The once elegant and proud woman was now utterly worn. Her once full face was now gaunt, eyes bloodshot, and even her once firm posture was slouched. Seraphina halted me with a low, raspy voice. "Elias, how have you been?" I chuckled silently, waving the divorce papers. "My name's Leon. Elias doesn't exist anymore." "All right, Leon." Her expression fell for a moment, then a hint of color returned. "Are you staying in the city? Maybe we could still be friends. Could I come see you sometimes?" "I'm not staying here," I answered firmly, my expression neutral. "We won't be seeing each other again." I turned to walk away, but she grabbed my arm. "I know I was wrong, Leon. I know how terribly wrong I was betraying our vows, breaking your trust. Even my life was saved thanks to you." Seraphina gave a bitter smile, tears glistening in her eyes. "Can you give me another chance? I promise never to deceive you again. I'll take care of you and we'll have a lovely child. If you're still hurt, we could start over. You could let me chase you again." We stopped designing Seraphina. I cut her off, extinguishing her last hope completely, just like she once cruelly did it to me. There's no future for us. I'll gradually forget you and start a new life. The icy wind blew winter's chill, numbing. Watching her frail silhouette fade, Seraphina felt a dull ache in her heart. It was her own doing that severed all the love. Once everything settled, I rushed back to Tokyo to present my firm's first major project. The structure I presented was the Aether Spire, a project that once slipped from my grasp but captivated my soul. I presented the model, rose up on my 2 feet and spoke, losing myself in the technical details. My voice was fluid and light. As the presentation ended, the applause was deafening. I was ushered forward to deliver the final remarks. Holding the mic under the presentation lights, focused just on me, it felt like a dream, being back in the beloved design world, but everything around me was real. This reality brought me to tears. With warmth in my eyes, I flashed a confident, bright smile. I thanked my firm friends, structural design, and myself for daring to start over. I broke free from a binding life, now thriving to show my own brilliance. I forgave all the hardships fate once put in my path. What tasted bitter before now turned sweet. I am Leon. From now on, I live for myself alone.
Thank you for sharing this chapter with us at Velvet Chapters Brew. Comment, like, and subscribe to see where the next page takes us.